welcome to Dud and Dan. I'm Dan.
And I'm Dudley.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Your face.
What?
When you were just doing that.
Doing what?
Was disturbing.
What was disturbing about it?
Your long opening. There was something. It looks like you were having a seizure in the middle of it. Like your eyes were like twitching, and just like in the middle of it. I was like, you know, you don't have to hurt yourself for the sake of this show. There's no blood required.
Yes. You must bleed for your art.
You have high blood pressure. You don't need to do this.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was twitching.
It was
the hypertension.
In the eye. It was weird. Like, should I call 911? Is he gonna stop?
Never.
If he had fallen over and now, I was like, do I keep doing the show or do I call for help?
I hope you would call for help.
Remains to be seen.
Welcome to the show. I hope everyone's had a great week. How was your week, Dudley?
It was fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was busy.
Yeah. This week was like a shot in the arm.
It was. That's a very apt description.
It feels like I really did get a shot in the arm. Like one that hurt a lot. Like someone just frogged me.
Yeah.
And apparently I have to do it again in a month.
Yeah. I think you did get a shot in the arm.
I did get a shot in the arm. You got a shot in the arm.
I got a shot in the arm.
We both got shots in the arm.
Yes. We got that that fancy vaccine.
Yeah. We are in the process of, once our body takes that data,
acclimates
and assimilates, like the Borg. Once we have assimilated,
we are Moderna.
we
are Moderna. Doesn't roll like Borg.
No. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Friday, you and I made a pilgrimage.
Yes.
And
received a shot in the arm.
A shot in the arm.
It was weird.
First dose. Yeah, I can't talk. First dose.
Dose. I know it's confusing because dose in Spanish is two. So it's like first two.
First dose. Of the Moderna.
Mm-hmm. We have to get dose.
Against COVID-19.
Is it dosage?
Doses.
Doses.
Uh-huh. That's correct.
Muy doses.
But I'm sure the Spanish word for doses is not dose.
Dose.
Let's Google it. I want to do it. Google Translate.
Yeah, I got the app.
You have the app?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the app.
I got the app.
Translate. I have to Google Translate, and then I have to type in Translate.
I have the app, so I can get there faster.
Dose. I'm already typing it. Dose.
Okay.
English to... I have to scroll to Spanish. Here we go. Spanish. Where's Spanish? Dosis. Where's Spanish? Why don't I see Spanish?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. See.
Mm-hmm.
Dosis.
Doses. Doses.
Or
we'll have to receive doses.
Let's see. Doses. Just see. Dosis, yeah. See, also, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see what it sounds like. Dosis. That's how you say it. Dosis. So it's dosis.
Doses.
Now I can't hear the.
Yeah, because you're playing your phone through your ear.
Yeah. Dosis.
Doses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dosis.
We are Club Moderna.
Yes, Club Moderna.
House, as Robert called it, House Moderna.
Yeah. Yeah, he got the Moderna as well.
Yes, he did.
He had to go a little further for it.
Yeah, he had to travel a bit.
Yeah.
We had to travel, but not too far.
Yeah.
It was just my arm just hurt.
That's really
like 45 minutes later, I felt kind of like, oh. And then it kind of, after I got over that, I was a little nausea and a little, like, I just felt cold.
Yeah, I felt the cold. I got a little chill.
After we ate and we watched Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, suddenly we felt better.
We had lunch. We got back for lunch. We watched Falcon Winter Soldier, and then we, I had a little. I was cold, but that was it. The first day, and my arm started getting sore as the day went by.
The arm just hurt,
and then
it was
my
like
arm
I could tell how it was by the degrees I could raise my arm. Yeah. For a while, it was only a 10-degree raise, and I was like, I'm uncomfortable. And then it got to about a 45-degree raise.
45.
Yeah. I'm saying degrees and percentage backwards.
Yeah,
it was a, what is it, 45
was it
and a 90.
Was it acute or obtuse?
Yeah, well, it started out with, like, down is 0.
Uh-huh.
I could get it to a 45, it was uncomfortable. So
and
then for a while, I was able to go to a 90.
So it was a 6 o'clock?
It was a 6 to a, what's that? It depends on which way you're looking. 7 and a half, 7:30 to a 9 o'clock. That got uncomfortable. And then eventually I could go to, like,
now I can get to 12.
The 10,
no
11, 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then I can get to 12 o'clock.
I can get to 12, no problem.
It's fine.
Yeah, but it's 2 days later.
Yeah, it was a day and a half later before I could get above the 90. Before I could get above 9 o'clock.
Besides the arm hurting, really the only thing I've noticed is I'm tired. Sooner.
I was tired. I was ready to go to bed early the first night.
I'm ready to go to bed now. I'm still that. I don't know. But I've been doing a lot of stuff this weekend too, so it could just be a combination of both. But it's just tired. But it's not bad. Yeah. So they say the second dosis is it's worse.
It's worse. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got it. We're scheduled on a Tuesday. So
yeah.
There might be a little middle week FU there.
Yeah. FU?
Yeah, FU.
Oh.
You know what FU stands for? It's feeling
Oh. Yeah. Feeling Okay.
It's
okay. Feeling
Feeling Yeah, so it's not bad. It's a lot of a good chunk of our
a lot of people we know.
Our circle is getting
safer.
So
yeah,
which is good.
Yeah.
So it'll continue, which will be good. So.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
Good.
Especially since Texas decided it was fine to open everything up. But, whatever.
Even though they only have, well, I mean, it's 10% vaccinated, which is good, but not good enough to open, I don't think. But,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Games. We played some. I mostly played one.
I mostly played one as well.
It's the same one we talked about a lot last week.
Yes.
So if you don't like hearing about us talk about Satisfactory, this may not be the episode for you.
We have other things we talk about.
We do.
We will get to those.
We do. I don't want to bury those, but
we're going to.
How is your satisfaction?
It's good. I can't remember where I was last week in comparison to this week, but I've got pipes now.
Yeah.
I've got coal generators and coal process.
Yeah, you were trying to build coal plants last time.
Yeah, so I now have 5 coal plants.
Yeah.
And I have water. Now I'm up to 3 water pumps. I had just
3?
1. Yeah.
I only had 1.
I had 1.
That was enough.
Yeah.
I had it completely overclocked.
I didn't have it overclocked.
Yeah. I had it running 250%.
I didn't have enough slugs to overclock.
Yeah,
so
go find some of them slugs. They're everywhere.
Yeah, well,
you can't throw a rock without hitting the slug.
The immediate area is pretty clear.
Yeah.
So
for those who don't know, there are slugs power slugs all over the place, and you collect them and you turn them into like power cells.
Yeah.
That let you overclock your
machinery.
Your
So it'll
machinery.
go faster.
So, yeah. Well. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. It's more efficient.
I don't know if it's more efficient.
It's not really. It uses more power.
It uses a lot more power.
It's just you get more percentage.
The production is faster. I don't know if it's more efficient.
Yeah. So I had a bunch of them, but I feed them all into my machine.
Yeah.
And I've built a platform over. I don't know if I talked about it. I wanted to get a central location between the pure sources of resources.
All the resource nodes, yeah.
Yeah. So I built a platform over a waterfall.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And then it's now 2 levels, and it has all the pure resources from one side pumping in. It does several factories or constructors that then feed into the base materials, and I have like 3 containers stacked high just in a row.
You don't have large containers yet?
I don't. I just got them.
Okay. So you kept talking about, I got 3 containers. I'm like, so you mean 1.5 large?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I didn't have the large one. I got those.
Okay.
I haven't built any of them yet, but I just unlocked them. But I'm doing pretty good. I just also got recently steel production.
Yeah.
So I got
the foundry and...
Yeah, and I got that up, but then I ran into the problem I was running out of water to my... So I had to build 2 additional water pumps, so that's 3 total. I had 1, and then, like I said, I didn't have a slug to overclock it, so I just built 2 more, and that has eased the issue.
I think you need to find more slugs.
Yes, I know.
I remember last week I talked about wanting to use the smart sorters to streamline my conveyor belt system into one, and then like have it sort everything.
Yeah.
Immediately after we did the show, I went and did that.
Yeah.
So I went where I'm having like 3 different areas where the base resources were being produced, all coming into like stacks of conveyor belts coming in, and 2 of them didn't even come all the way to my base. All of them come to my base, and almost all of them hit 1 conveyor belt. The steel products come the other direction, so they come around the side, but they come down 1 conveyor belt. Everything else gets funneled into 1 conveyor belt, and it comes in, and then it hits one smart splitter after another to sort them into their boxes, and then everything feeds into that way. And then I also have overflow valves at each splitter, so anything that if it fills up, it just backs up and it goes off into another array, and it all splits and sorts together until it dumps into the awesome sink. So I'm just constantly producing anything extra, just dumps right in there. If my boxes are full, it just keeps cranking out stuff and it dumps it into the awesome sink, and I get coupon points.
I have the awesome sink now.
Yeah.
And
I ran it just miner off straight into it for a long time.
I was gonna do something like that, but then I didn't have one close by.
Yeah.
But
I did it with just a limestone node, and then I moved it to a sulfur node, and then I moved it to a cadmium. Titanium, whatever it's called, the gold material. Yeah. I moved it to one of those, and that's how I generated a bunch of mine starting off.
I had it in, but there for a while I was just throwing I have a container connected to it, and I just would throw stuff. I was like, oh, I'm not going to use this for a while, and I throw it in there. Or I have a whole bunch of something, I throw it in there.
Yeah.
And I just took a whole container worth of limestone or concrete,
and
just dumped it in there.
Yeah.
And it's been just running since then. So that's what I had going for now. I've gotten the walls you can get from that, but I haven't built any of them.
Yeah.
I've been too busy with other things.
I have like a glass wall.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
Yeah. I want to eventually build it out towards the wall. I also recently unlocked the vacuum tubes.
Yes, I
haven't built any of them yet.
I have one that goes a really long way. It takes me from my base to like 40 miles to the where my oil refinery is.
Yeah.
And now fuel refiner and 3 fuel generators. So I have like 1,200 megawatt hours or whatever it is of energy all the time. I'm using like 500-600 of it. But so I just went to build fuel generators. Like I could just build 3 of them, and I did.
Yeah.
And because I just went a pipe and then a splitter and then do.
Yeah, the pipes are pretty good. I
Yeah.
like the pipe system because it makes it's easy to add on to and just
Yeah,
like
and
I need a split here. You don't have to break it or
Yeah.
do anything. You just stick a
Yeah.
splitter on it.
You do.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I have that going, and I'm on the cusp, Dudley. I'm on the cusp of trains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which take a lot of resources. I just unlocked it, and now I'm trying to get the resources to build the stuff to do it. Because it's not like you just build a train and some rail system. In order to utilize it, to unload stuff and to power it, you have to have a train station. And then attached to unload stuff, you got to have a train freight station attached to it. So I kind of miscalculated. For some reason, I thought I only need the freight station. So I set that up, and I'm like, oh, well, it has to be attached to a train station. So I went back to the building more resources. So I'm trying to build everything I need. And I have two of them, one on each end of the track. And I'm going to bridge that huge 40-mile distance with a railway system. So I'm basically going to follow my tube and then run the rails along next to it. Probably a little way from it, but I'll move along it and do it that way. And then it'll run over there and haul my plastics and rubbers
Back and
forth from there. So I don't have to, like, jump in the tube. And literally, I jump in the tube, and I just play on my phone for 5 minutes.
I've watched you do it. It's really
takes
long.
forever. It takes a few minutes.
In fact, you pass the spot where your base is. You go through the area my base is at. It's like, I guess I know those waterfalls.
Yeah.
That's where.
Yeah, I go over the waterfall where you built your base.
Yeah, where I built my base. So when I'm getting ready to do fuel, it won't be as long of a tube.
Yeah.
It's still a long ways though. I've been almost over there.
Yeah.
I went over there to kind of get some slugs and stuff, and that's why I scoped it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went, it won't be too bad.
Yeah.
Get a system going, but yeah,
It's a
fun.
hard game not to play.
Yeah.
Like I have other games, but I don't find that I want to play them.
Yeah.
I just play Satisfactory.
I'm about to do the second space elevator stuff.
Yeah.
That's the next thing I gotta do.
I haven't started. I have the third one, but I haven't even started building the stuff for it.
Yeah, I'm about to do the second
It takes
one.
a lot of stuff.
I've unlocked everything just about.
Yeah.
Up to that point.
Yeah.
I think I have like one or two little things left that I'm just less interested in, so that to progress. Progress.
Is that like the French version of progress?
It's like grass.
The progress.
It's progress.
Progress.
I need to go back to my space elevator and see what I need to build for it.
I think I'm gonna move my space elevator.
I'm gonna move mine too.
I like where it's been for a while, but I kind of need to extend my base to give room for all the builders I need to do to build to feed the space elevator. And I could move all the other stuff, but I have to move my whole organization system. And I think it would be easier to just leave that and shift things down, and then have like first wave where all the basic materials go, and then I'll have a second wave of storage where all the next level materials go, and then that'll feed into the big heavy machinery to make all the final big parts.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm on one waterfall. I think I'm just gonna go to the next waterfall all over and put the space elevator there.
Yeah,
and it'll just be next to it.
Yeah,
and that way I'll still have a huge space to build. And expand. And then
that's the nice thing of being over the water. You just build platforms wherever you go on.
I don't have to worry about ground levels or anything.
Yeah.
And then I plan to cover most of the water area and then just build up.
Yeah.
So it'll be a towering building that all my construction goes into. Which I'm already kind of working on because the way I set it up, I have the base level coming in the first level, and then it goes up 3 stacks, which brings up to a second level where I feed into the machinery to build the kind of second tier stuff.
Do you? I use a vacuum tube as an elevator.
Yeah, I haven't built any of them yet.
Yeah. I got the thing that lets me put a vacuum tube into a wall plate.
Yeah.
And so I just I have both my tubes going into the wall, and so I just walk over there and side by side. One goes all the way to the refinery, and one just goes up to the second floor.
Yeah.
So I go boop boop, and I'm like literally boop. It's like the shortest elevator and the longest one side by side.
Yeah.
So it's I just want to play it nonstop.
It's fun,
all the
man.
time.
It's just.
I am going to have to play something else this week so that I have something to talk about. Otherwise, we're going to be like three weeks
in
just talking about Satisfactory, which we have already done once. We spent a ton of time before talking about Satisfactory.
That's true.
It's just a really good game.
We've been in a pandemic, and games have been delayed.
Oh, is
there
that
are
it?
less new games.
But not like there's no shortage of games, though. I mean,
No, there's games to play, but I'm saying there's nothing of value to the listeners.
Value to the listeners.
So we're playing a game we enjoy.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it won't be long before I'd be back basically where I was the first time I was playing it, where I have a nuclear. I haven't decided where I'm going to build my nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
Because you need water for it now. Before I didn't need water. I just needed a mess of stuff to refine the uranium.
It's also like radioactive, so you can't be close to it.
Yeah, so I had, in my previous game, I had a rail system that went down into the valley, and a conveyor belt that brought the uranium from the node in the cave, out of the cave, to refine it, loaded it on a train. The train hauled it over to a building that I just enclosed, and was like, I don't go near there because it's radioactive. And it does all the stuff it needs to for the uranium, and then ships it over a conveyor belt into another valley where I had 3 nuclear power plants. And then the waste from that went to a cliffside platform where it's just nothing but storage containers.
Is there a way to get rid of the waste in?
There wasn't then. I don't know if there is now.
Surely there's.
I shipped it to a platform and just said that when those fill up, I will worry about that.
I mean, I guess you can manually delete.
Yeah, but you gotta get a radio. I had all this without having a radiation suit. I eventually got a radiation suit so I could actually go see my power plant running. I built it all. Built the whole thing backwards. So I built everything, and then I built the system to feed into it without being near any of it running.
Yeah.
So basically, it's running. Okay, I turn on the miner. I run in there, turn the miner on, and ran away, and then stood back and watched it run. Yep, it's working. It's working. All right, the train's loading. Okay, it's hauling in there. All right, it's spitting out the nuclear rods or whatever they're called. Yeah, that's great. It's all running. Okay, I have it. And I look up the power system, and it just shoots way up. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm never going over there anymore.
Now you have water to it.
Yeah, exactly. And
like,
so part of me was like, I'll put it in the same place, but
you gotta do math otherwise you just gotta.
I gotta make sure the water's. There is a pond kind of near where I built it before in a valley.
Yeah.
And so I kind of would like to put it back in the same place, but I might put it closer to where the source of uranium is, and I don't have to ship it so far. But I don't know. It was kind of cool to have a radioactive train that ran back and forth all the time. I had 3 trains running on that. Because I had one for the uranium.
If you say so, the game doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist anymore, but I had one for the uranium. I had one that went way up in the mountain and picked up a shipment of quartz and brought it back. And then I had one that went back and forth between my oil drums. Back when it just dumped the refineries put oil straight in a drum. Yeah. Now you have to build a machine to do that.
Yeah. I guess you don't need drums. You just pipe it.
You can pipe it, but you can can it.
Yeah. It just seems better just to pipe it.
Well, it depends on what you're using it for.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't ever got to that point. I'm farther now than I have before in the game.
Yeah. I put a lot of time into that game.
But I only play an hour a day, maybe for lunch and stuff. So
I'll play it at lunch
and
sometimes.
Then maybe I'll get an hour at night after everyone else has gone to bed. I'll play for an hour or so. But it's going good. It's fun. It's just a good game. and it's not finished. Like, they're still adding to it.
I keep waiting because it seems like they're going to announce something soonish.
Yeah,
at least
they've been very cagey on what's coming next.
Yeah, they haven't said, like, before they were like, oh, we're building it's pipes, and well, before it was pipes, it was nuclear power plants and trains, which came out while I was playing it last time, and I was like, this is amazing. I get to do trains, and then since then they've added the pipe system, which is cool. And then now I'm just kind of like, well, what are they gonna add next?
Yeah, I think pandemic has slowed everything down, so they were like, what's the next up there? I don't know. They had a running joke.
One of the developers.
Yeah, they had a running joke. It's like, ask so and so, he knows.
Yeah, he might know.
And it would just have a link to his Twitter account.
Really?
I can't remember the guy's name, but
Steven something, I think.
Yeah, and he's like, ask Steven.
Yeah.
And I think that's the update. It's like, oh, who knows?
Who knows?
Steven. But I think the last I saw, they did have that comment that it's like, yeah, the COVID has slowed their plans down.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll see something soon because pipes have been out for a while.
Yeah.
So
almost a year, I think.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I remember looking. It's been out for a while.
Good game though.
It's really addictive.
Yeah. If you're into those kind of games.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Obviously.
And I do things poorly. Like, I've gotten better. I do things better than I did the first time. But that's not good.
Yeah.
I still manually make way too much.
The only time I manually make a few things is if I'm like, oh, I just need one item for the deal, and I was like, and my factory's pumping them out, but it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
So I was just like, or it's one thing that I was like, I have all the resources, and I only need like 20 of them, and
pretty much all the stuff to launch to get the milestone, I just make manually.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll have parts being manufactured by the factory while I run and do other things, then build things. I'll let it run to build the parts, and then I quickly make them, and then I load them up to get the next stuff, and then I'll add on to my factory where it more, streamlines it. But
yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, it's faster for me just to manually make it. Of course, you can't do that with a lot of the stuff that you load into the space elevator. That stuff has to be made in a machine. You can't hand make the later stuff. Which is,
so you got to build in factories, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm kind of setting it up. So it's like, oh, those like the first tier stuff, I have tons of. It's still running a little. Some of them I'm depleting as fast as I get them, so it's not really. It's maintaining the stock, but it's not getting full. And I'm trying to get where they're all full at all times, and I haven't quite got there.
Yeah.
Because I'm making reinforced plate, and it's just. But I have an alternated.
Alternate recipe,
yeah, that lets me use wire. So I just constantly pumping wire and plates into it, and it does pretty good. I have a lot of it, but it's one of those things like I like the stock to build up on these things. So, and it's going to get there because I have one container filled with reinforced plate, and it's half full now.
You need a lot of those later for the frames, and then you need a lot of frames to make the heavy frames. So that's what I'm working on right now. I had to build a bunch of those to get trains, and then I need to build them to build the trains.
Yeah.
So, which I have enough of those. I got to build computers, and the computers are annoying.
I have it set up to where I can split off the reinforced ones, so I have some going into a container to build something, and I'm gonna have it split off to go to an assembler to make the frames. Yeah. So I had that set up. I just haven't split it off yet. Yeah. I knew I was gonna need that, particularly once I get some of the space elevator stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I was letting it run, and I was just kind of running around and trying to gather hard drives. So that I could get more alternate recipes. But I always get random ones. I'm like, I don't want any of these. And I end up just picking one. And
the last one I had, I was like, it doesn't seem better.
I mean, a lot of times it's more efficient. Yeah. Like, you use two different things, and then you don't have to, you make something, and it
usually
makes more of them.
Slightly more of them.
Yeah, so it's faster in some way.
I like the reinforced plate one because I don't have to use screws for two of the things. I was like, man, that saved me.
That's great.
Making so many screws.
Yeah, but then I actually got an alternative one for rotors now, so I don't need screws for rotors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had just got it. It's you use steel pipes and wire to make rotors instead of. So in theory, I could switch reinforced to wire and rotors to wire, not use screws for either one of those, and then take the screws and just use them for computers.
Yeah,
but I have a huge surplus of screws right now.
Well, yeah. Well, the problem with screws is it takes 2 constructors to make them. So you have to make the rods, and then you have to make the screws. Whereas wire, you can go straight from the the ingots straight into the wire. So it's an extra step you don't have to have.
That's true. I just built into my sorter machine. Like I fill up 2 large container with the rod, and then the top one has a conveyor belt that goes back out and into a constructor, and it just makes screws that goes back into the sorting system and then dumps it into another box. So I actually have a large container almost completely full of screws. I've been using a lot of them recently, but it's still staying up. And then I have just containers full of everything else.
Yeah. I'm probably going to have to re-lay out some of my stuff just because I need to. Like, I have all the conveyor belts stacked up. So once I get to the point of sorter, I'm going to be like...
Yeah, the smart splitters are handy.
Yeah. But most of my resources come from one place.
Yeah.
So... Yeah. But I bring them in at just the ingot level. I don't build anything before.
Oh, really? You don't refine
everything comes to the base, and then it's refined.
Oh, okay.
So
see, all of my stuff gets created and then sent to the base. So I have... In fact, I was... adding another smelter into the system and bumping up the miner to go faster to make sure they were all running 100%.
Well, yeah, I get the smelter. It gets mine smelted and then sent to base.
Yeah. See, mine goes mine to smelters, and then I have 2 things making rods, 1 making plates, 1 making wires.
No, I do.
And then I have another thing making concrete.
All that's in base.
And then I got a copper node that makes copper plating.
Yeah. So I have it. I have a conveyor belt with iron coming in, the iron ingot, and another one with copper. Yeah. And there's a couple of them feeding the iron one.
Okay. So your bottom floor is just going to be taking all the ingots and making them into things. Okay.
It makes them into the base stuff. So I have it brings those in. It splits them out into there's a splitter that takes 2 splits the copper into 2, so 1 makes wire and 1 makes sheets, and then it splits the iron into 3. 2 of them make rods, and 1 of those rods turns into screws, and then the rods, and then the plates. So all that. So I have 5 of those constructors in a row.
Yeah,
and then 6 and then they all feed into the 3 tall boxes that go to. So my first level is just the base stuff. Oh, okay. And then it goes to second level. That's when I start doing the assemblers. So they assemble the reinforced plates and then the rotors. And then I kind of messed up on my steel one, because because I use a foundry. I do pump, because I have to get my coal and my iron are in 2 different ends, so they come together, meet at the base to do it. So that throws it off a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because you got to put the ingots together, the iron 2 raw resources together for that one.
Yeah, and I'm probably I need to redo that part, because I have it throws off the layers, because I have 3 stacks filling up with steel ingots. And I really need to shift that back so the steel is being converted into steel beams and
steel pipes.
Yeah. So I have those, but they're on the second level. Really, they need to be on the first level.
Yeah.
So I need to.
See, that's the thing. You're always kind of like backtracking and refining it.
Yeah.
And so it's I built it. This is great at the moment. Well, I don't need this as much, or I got a new recipe, so I'm shifting gears, and then I have to reset. But. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably going to shift all that back so it can all be... And then I can also put it in the rows with the rest of them. So I just have a row of containers that have all the base materials. Yeah. And then the next floor will be assemblers. Yeah. And then whenever I get the next thing, I'll build another floor. Probably.
Yeah, you get into like what do they call it?
I don't even
manufacturers.
Yeah.
They're the big ones.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, it's just super addictive.
Yeah,
it's a satisfying game.
Yeah.
And this is now the Satisfactory show.
Apparently.
This show is Satisfactory.
Mm-hmm. We've probably covered more episodes talking about Satisfactory than any other game.
Maybe.
Possibly. We'd have to review the data, which we're not going to do. Oh.
We played a new game that the Cartwrights got. I played it actually earlier, and then
Yeah, you talked about it last week.
did I talk about it last week?
Yes.
I couldn't remember if we. Cause I thought for some reason I thought we did the show before we played it.
No, you're right. We did do the show before.
Yeah, it was because we did the show early in the morning last week, and so that afternoon, the Cartwrights got a new game. It plays, I think, up to 8 players.
Yeah.
Called Spyfall.
Mm-hmm. Which I have since played.
Yeah, you have. I played it with them with 4 players, and then we played with us 7 of us.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a hidden roles game. The simplified way of it is that there are like 30 different locations, I would guess.
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch of different locations. And then each location has a pack of cards. And the cards all the cards say the same location on it. And so if it's like airplane, and then so you have a whole deck of cards that say airplane and what position you have, whether you're a pilot or a flight attendant or something, passenger, people who would be in that location. Mm-hmm. And then one of the cards in each deck is a spy. So what happens is you randomly select a deck, and then deal them out so that one person is the spy and doesn't have a clue where the location is, and everyone else knows what the location is, and they have some kind of job.
27 locations.
27. I knew it was close to 30.
Yeah.
And then starting with the dealer, they can ask one of the other players a question, and that player answers the question, and then they can choose to ask someone else a question, and then just go on until the timer runs out.
Yeah.
And the goal of everyone who knows where they are is to figure out who the spy is.
Who doesn't know where they are?
Yeah, because the spy doesn't have a clue where we are. Mm-hmm. And
the
spy's job...
It's based on the questions.
Yeah. The spy doesn't know. All his card says is spy. Mm-hmm. And so that person is trying to figure out where we are. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is trying to figure out who doesn't know where we are, and therefore they are the spy. Mm-hmm. By asking, so you want to ask questions that are vague, but also kind of clue at people who are in the know that you know.
Yeah.
And it's a little tricky.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to be vague without giving it away.
Yes. Because you don't want the spy to figure it out, because the 3 end conditions are the timer runs out and we go around voting on, like, each people nominate who they think the spy is, and if everyone votes, they're going to agree, and that person is the spy loses. If not, then the spy wins. Mm-hmm. But at any point during the game, if the spy thinks he knows for sure where we are, he can be like, I'm the spy, we are at this location. And if he's right, he wins. Mm-hmm. While also the other players at any point can be like, someone answer the question. At any point can be like, well, this is really obvious that this person is the spy. You can just be like, I'm going to stop the timer. I think so-and-so is the spy. Everyone agree? And if everyone unanimously agrees, then that person is the spy, then the spy loses.
Yeah.
So the spy doesn't want to be like tries to answer the question as if they know.
Yeah.
So they're trying to be vague, but they're trying to be like you're trying to act like you know what you're talking about without having any clue.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I really like it.
You gave a question that was like really on the nose.
I did.
Yeah,
I leaned on it too hard.
A little too hard.
I think I should have just left it at the one. One of the locations is Polar Station. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and you look at the card and you're like, this is The Thing. This is a reference to the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. And I thought, I was like, oh, maybe I could. I was like, well, if I make a reference to that, at least Dudley and Trey will know what I'm talking about. And it was the dumb move. I was so excited to do it. I shouldn't have done it though, because you had basically tipped that you were the spy.
Well, Trey had asked me if
there's a lot of color
here.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, there's color everywhere.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
In a snowy place, you don't think of it as a lot of color. So everyone pretty nuts. I was like, we should have just right then said Dudley's a spy. Everyone agree, and then take that. But I got all overzealous because I was like excited to do my clue. I was just like, Trey.
Yeah, because I asked you a question.
You asked me a question, and then I asked Trey if I said, how did I say it? I said,
Does this place have a thing?
this place has a thing, right?
A thing, right?
And
you,
then I
like,
should have
stretched
left it. I should have left it at that. I should have just left it at, this place has a thing, right? And then, but I leaned into it a little too heavily. I said it once or twice more.
I think you said it 3 times.
I know, and I was like, I got overexcited, and I should have left it alone. I should have just been
And
like,
as soon
this
as you
says,
get that, I was like,
Oh.
I looked down at the map because I didn't know there was a polar station.
Yeah.
I looked down, saw a polar station. I was like, I'm the spy polar
yeah,
station.
and I was
they were
like, and I knew, and we were all pretty well certain you were the spy, and I should have just like, no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have, because you would have been one of the people at the table who knew what I was talking about, who could have got the reference.
yeah, I
But
got it immediately.
You did. However, I felt pretty proud of myself because I was the spy, and Brandy, Trey's wife, asked, I think it was Eden, a question. It was like, how are the prices of drinks here?
Oh yeah.
And she said, oh, they're expensive. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a casino. And then I don't know why, for whatever reason, it's like, it could be some other places, but my first thought was casino.
Which is weird because our casinos that are close by, drinks are free.
If you were gambling, yes.
If you're gambling,
But if you go to the bar, it's expensive.
I don't know that. I don't go to the bar.
Yeah.
I just gamble and get free drinks.
Well, and so I was like, for some reason, the way she asked it, I thought, I think it's a casino. There are other places that it could be expensive, but that was my first thought. I was like, it might be the casino. Then Eden asked me a question, do you see a lot of celebrities here? And I thought, that also could be a casino. And I just kind of like, occasionally you'll see one every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a casino.
You asked me.
I asked you, and then I asked you the question, do people spend a lot of money here?
I was like, oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say spend.
I wouldn't say, yeah. And I was like, it's the casino. And
then I said...
So I was pretty close. I was pretty much ready to guess right then. But then I waited because I was like, I'm going to listen to one more question.
My question was too on the nose for it. And
do they make movies set in her location?
Do they make movies set in her?
And then Trey was like, there's a whole theme of them.
There's a whole genre.
A whole genre. And I was like, we're in a casino.
Yeah. Now... I want to bring it didn't give it away or anything, but I thought it was a pretty solid nod. It was in our foreplay. Y'all had left already.
Yeah.
We kept playing.
Yeah.
It was me, Trey, Brandy, and Jess.
Brandy with the spy.
No, it was actually...
Yes, she was.
Jess.
The first game was...
the first game,
yeah.
But that was this is another game after that.
I know, because I looked at everyone's card before I left.
I'm going to give you a clue, question.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you can tell me where the location is. I asked Trey, I was like, Trey, do you ever lose control?
Do you ever lose control?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a reference.
I know it's a reference.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what it is.
Talk through your thought process, because this is an audio show.
Do you ever lose control? I don't. Is it a Killers song?
No.
Because that's always what you reference.
But it's not a Killers. The line is no, not me. I never lose.
The man who sold the world.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So the location was Space Station?
Yeah, Space Station.
It's because David Bowie.
David Bowie. He's the
So what did Trey say?
Trey, she's like, I hope not.
He didn't get that you were referencing the...
He didn't immediately, but I think he picked it up later.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you get my reference?
Yeah.
Like, it's a David Bowie reference.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
it's spacey.
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, that song is not specifically about space.
No.
But
it's a... no, but...
Yeah. There's a couple of degrees of
it's
separation.
I thought it worked pretty good.
It's okay.
I think it's pretty good.
It's okay. I love that song, and I didn't quite get the song reference until...
You still got it.
I still got it once I realized what you... Because that's not the line in the...
No.
Yeah.
But the line is, no, not me. I've never lost control.
Yes. So you were
I
prompting
was
for that.
prompting for that kind of
yeah.
thinking process.
Not me. I never lost control.
Yes. Yeah. And if he had said that, it would have been great.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, though. But
If you had asked me, I might have said that.
you might have said that, yeah.
But because I say that, I quote.
If I had asked him, he would have said that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's because we've talked about that song a lot because it's in Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I mean, I just like that song.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot, and then we thought how fitting that song is for that.
Oh, okay.
In a
I
way.
have never.
It's a
I've
weird
never
choice,
finished that
but
game.
we were like, oh, you should.
It's one of those games I started and I have never finished. I got to the first boss, and then I got sidetracked and I have never gone back.
Anyway.
Because I never lost control. Not me.
Not me. No.
Not me.
Not me.
I never lost control. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we play that.
I think the next line says space.
You're face to face.
Face to face. You're right. Yeah,
with the man who sold the world.
Who sold the world.
Yeah. No.
Yep. That song is
That-
pretty
it
fitting
has
for that
nothing-
game.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Does a man sell the world? Dudley. Does
no, not really, but kinda.
Uh-huh.
You have to play the game. It's
I
Kojima.
don't
It's
know
weird.
when I'm ever gonna play the game. To go back to play an open world however many hour game.
You could just grind the story.
I
It
could.
wouldn't take that long. I think you can do it in like 10 hours.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, we also played Love
I may
Letters.
just go watch like a recap, just so I know I'm in the know.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
no, without giving
Kind of like what
devoting
I
time.
did with Metal Gear Solid 3.
You didn't play through 3?
No.
I played through 3.
I didn't play through 3.
I played through all of
I've
them,
watched the story.
all the way up to
I
4.
played most of 2. I played all of 4.
I played all of 1,
I
2,
played
3, and 4.
and 5. I played
I did not play all of 5.
I played through 1. Yeah.
Anyway.
4 and 5 are very good.
We also played Love
Letters,
Letters, which was fun, always fun game.
Yeah.
And then Codenames.
Codenames.
Yeah.
And then I had an interesting. We played some Codenames with another friend of Jess's that had never played before, and we were playing that. And then y'all had left, and there was just the 3 of us. So we played, and Jess and her friend were giving me the clues.
Yes. And I imagine in my mind when we left and I heard y'all were going to do that,
terrible.
I thought it was going to be, I was like, this is going to be a train wreck.
It was pretty bad because they very often gave me clues that were just like, oh, this is it. And then it not.
I gave you a clue. We twinned out because I gave you a clue. The clue was America.
Yes.
2.
Yes.
And the 2
And I
words
nailed
was cap
Uh-huh.
and agent. And everyone was like,
Everyone
why
else
did
is
you
like,
were talking your logic, and I'm like, you were nailing it. You were like Cap for Captain America, and
yeah.
Agent because there's the new
US
character in the
agent.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, and I'm like, yes, and everyone's like, that doesn't make any sense. That's nonsense. So I'm like, I was just biting my tongue because you had it.
And then I was like, but nothing else here makes sense.
Well, then they were
This
like,
is it.
but if you're going Captain America comic, because comic was one of the words.
I was like,
And I was like,
nah.
that's the only one you could have might stray on. But I was like, nope, he's got it. And then they're like, this is crap.
Maybe, but I'm gonna try these first.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm right.
And
on
we
this.
won.
And we won.
Because we shouldn't play together on that game.
I don't know. We've done bad together.
We have done poorly, but usually we're on the same wave. It's a weird wavelength, but we're on it.
Yeah. Anyway, any other games you want to talk about
No.
before we jump to some news for
No.
a little bit?
Yeah.
What's going on in the world today?
Should we try play the news theme?
Yes. Still haven't.
No, I've been very busy. And
playing
making music.
Satisfactory.
Yes. And making music takes
How many hours
time.
of Satisfactory did you play
I
in
do not know.
this week?
I have no idea.
Seems like you could have cranked out a little tune with
I
that
didn't-
Satisfactory time.
As a musician, I have to be inspired.
Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to begin?
You want to play the theme again to get you some time?
That's not the team. Activision Blizzard is laying off a lot of people.
Oh.
That's,
Oops.
that's-
Oh, wrong.
No,
That's the one I
there you
wanted.
go. That you need to label. You have a way to label that.
I keep
and
thinking I got them, and then I don't.
Yeah. Well, really, that color is green. No,
Yeah.
Really,
No, I can change the color.
yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah.
Green is too
I mean, I
happy.
imagine I'll remap that.
That should be light blue.
Yeah. Okay, stop touching my board.
Activision Blizzard is laid off. Two of the people areas they've laid off a lot of people. The European publishing offices is closing. They laid off a bunch of people there. The esports, the Activision Blizzard esports, has also laid off 190 employees.
Oh, wow.
And the CEO got a $200 million bonus.
Oh, good for him.
And they
So ridiculous.
and they're making profit. They've been profiting for a year.
Mm-hmm.
They've done fairly well because, games are selling well in a
Yeah.
pandemic because
But I
people
guess
need
they-
distraction.
the stuff coming out of the Europe office.
It's all
isn't-
digital stuff,
Yeah.
so the publishing people don't have as much. But still, could have probably used that $200 million to just pay their employees.
I mean, they could have, but if they I don't know. I don't know how their business model works.
It
at
just
all.
doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. No,
No.
it never looks good when you lay off your employees.
I mean, most
but
of the CEO's bonus is because the stock prices for them have gone up.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants
Yeah,
games right
because
now
of
because of the
pandemic.
pandemic. But yeah, okay.
yeah,
That's kind of meh.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and the whole argument behind the esports part being closed was cost savings, despite their profits
Yeah.
for the year. So it's kind of hard to believe. Of course, esports.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not
I
a lot
don't-
of competition going on.
Yeah,
because of
exactly. I mean,
pandemic,
that's
so-
what I mean. It's like, were they doing a lot with esports?
Probably not.
I don't follow it, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's kind of a weird, but who knows? Gotham Knights
Yes.
has been delayed to
Okay.
2022.
I'm not sure I care about it.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't
but
really been
it's
following
not-
it.
It's not tied. They confirmed it's not tied to the same universe as Arkham Knights or Arkham
Okay.
series.
Okay.
It's a separate.
So I'm really not interested.
Yeah, and that kind of.
I mean, it might be fun. I'll see what it looks
I
like.
mean, it's made by the people who did Arkham Origins,
Okay.
so
The least good one.
the least good Arkham game, but not a bad one.
Yeah, it's
just
not bad.
Not as good as
just-
some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So it's been delayed to 2022, which is also when the Suicide Squad game comes
Oh
out,
yeah.
which is being done by Rocksteady, the main Rocksteady
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That I'm more interested in.
yeah,
I'm curious to see what that's like.
because they're kind of trying to kill Superman,
Yeah.
and how that works, I don't know.
I mean, you need kryptonite, from what I understand,
Or a Doomsday.
or Doomsday, but
Doomsday
he came back
has
after
done
that.
Has done it.
Yeah,
They
but
always
he came
come
back.
though. They always come back.
That's fair, but
I mean, Batman died. He's come back.
yeah.
I mean, he
well, he didn't
just-
really die. He like went through dimensions or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
whatever. He died,
Yeah.
and his bones got replaced. I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't really follow the comics. They get weird.
I was reading an article recently. It was talking about the comparison between Batman and Captain America. They were basically doing the same storyline, and around the same time,
Yeah.
and how they kind of crisscrossed each other.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird, and they both resolved the exact same way
Oh, really?
with dimension hopping
Yeah.
stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, because they both died. They were both like Captain America
Within, like, a
died,
year of
and
each
they
other.
were all around the same time period. Yeah, they were
and
doing
they were
big
replaced
stories.
by their sidekicks.
Yeah.
who were grittier than they were.
No, not really.
Yeah, because it was Bucky Barnes.
Well, yeah, for Captain America, yes,
The
but
Winter Soldier,
I mean,
and then-
Batman was played by Nightwing, who's not grittier.
Well,
his
Red
Robin
Hood,
was
no,
played-
Red Hood did it for a little bit.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought for Nightwing there was a big Nightwing.
There was a one
where
where
Nightwing
Nightwing
became
took over,
Batman, and Damian Wayne was like the
Yeah, I think that was later.
the sulky,
I don't know. I don't keep up with the
darker Robin, which was interesting.
Yeah.
So kind of role
comics.
reversal.
I don't know who keeps up with any of that.
I don't really.
Besides Robert. Robert keeps
Rob fills me in on
Yeah.
this stuff. I don't know.
Square Enix has a new game I don't know if you saw it. It's called Forspoken. It was having a working title, and I can't remember what it is, but it's kind of a... It looks interesting. It's kind of open world. You're playing a girl that's like got this magic ability and running around, jumping, and it kind of looks interesting. It's a action RPG.
Okay.
But it's Square Enix, so it's probably going to be good. Coming in 2022, and it'll be a PlayStation 4 exclusive on consoles and then PC as well.
Okay.
So if you're on an Xbox, you won't get it, at least for a year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years.
But you can have Bethesda stuff.
Yeah. Sony showed off the new VR controllers for the PlayStation 5.
I saw those. Yeah, they got rid of the orb things.
No more orbs, no more wands.
Yeah.
And then apparently they will be tracked with the new headset, which kind of gives me like the Oculus Quest 5, where the headset has the cameras tracking it, and the way the handles are shaped, it kind of looks like
gives it track points. Too.
Yeah, so looks pretty good. So I'm curious to see where the PlayStation VR is going equipment-wise. Among Us is getting an update this month.
Yes.
Adding the airship. We talked about it, but and the new mini games and stuff, and they've had a little trailer of it, but they've officially announced the date. It'll be March 31st. Okay. So if you're into
we might have to check it out.
We may have to jump back into it.
We got into it pretty heavily for a little while.
Rockstar. Makers of Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, paid a modder $10,000.
Okay.
For fixing their load time on GTA Online.
Really?
Yeah, a modder figured out how to make their load time faster.
Huh.
And so they
used to be pretty long.
Yeah, and they helped. He came up with a mod to fix it, and they were like, "Yeah, this is great." And so they added it into the official game, and then paid them $10,000.
Well, there you go.
Which normally is reserved for like finding security flaws and stuff like that, but they made an exception this time. So that's
cool.
Kind of cool.
I would say the loading of the start of the game always took forever.
Yeah, it took a while, but it's apparently better now on PC, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know about on PlayStation or whatever. All the other platforms that it's on, they just perpetually re-release it. There was a new city building type game I'm kind of curious about called WW2 Rebuilder. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah. Like you're rebuilding after World War II?
Like London and some other cities as well after World War II. And it looks like you're just manually doing it. So, like, you're going around picking up debris, and there's soot and stuff on the walls. You're cleaning it off. And it's kind of interesting. It could also be real tedious. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like House Flippers.
Yeah, kind of like House Flippers, except it's a city street.
Post-World War II House Flippers.
Yeah, and you're going through and go, the pipe's missing. I got to put the pipe in and then fill in this hole and then rebuild the street back to the way it was. Which is kind of interesting. I'm curious if it's like you have to build it a certain way, or if you have some freedom on how
to reconstruct.
And I think that's where it'll make it interesting or not.
Yes.
Because I think it could be just boring otherwise. Yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of an intriguing concept. So Zack Snyder's Justice League had a reference to Halo, or stole a symbol from Halo. So apparently, I don't know if it shows in the movie because I haven't watched the movie.
Yeah, who has time?
Who has 4 hours to watch a movie?
Watch a movie that's already come out and no one cared about it the first time.
Yeah. Well, there's a symbol on Deathstroke's sword.
Yeah.
That apparently supposed to reference Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, the League of Shadows.
The League of Shadows.
Yeah.
But apparently it's not a real symbol from the comics that as is you.
Yeah.
The symbol comes from some fan art someone else did of the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul. And they ripped that symbol off from Halo, which was the original Halo from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it came much before that. And the developer's like, yeah, or not developer, whoever the original designer of it said, I made this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's on here. And apparently the costume designers just Googled Ra's
Yeah.
al Ghul symbol, and
He's like,
that was
okay,
the
there we
first
go.
one.
I'll use
Yep,
that one.
That's it.
Let's get surely the League of Shadow had a logo. Let's go get it. You Google, show me this
Yeah.
League of
Apparently
Shadows.
The fan art was very popular, so it showed up
Yeah.
really high.
Yeah.
So, wonder if we're going to get a call from
Yeah,
Microsoft.
that's the modern world of Googling everything.
Yeah.
That's where we live in now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of funny. There's a Twitch streamer who's doing like a never-ending stream.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah, like 10 seconds per every subscriber or something
Yeah,
like that.
and it's still going.
Yeah.
It's
How
been
long
like
has
a
it been going?
week.
Is it week?
I think so.
Jeez.
I went and popped into it, and he still has a timer, so I don't know if he's broken it or at all. But when the article I read about it was from last Monday, started Sunday and went to Monday, and then it's still going, and he had like 58 hours left as of right now.
Is he doing anything, or is it
He's
just
playing
Truman
games.
showing?
He's playing games. He's
Is
doing.
he eating and sleeping?
Yeah, he's doing that too,
Just live streaming.
pretty much.
It's the Truman Show.
But he's making money doing it, so
Yeah,
I guess
alright.
it's working. Kind of
So,
weird.
so if we ever lose our jobs, we'll just stream 24/7.
The difference is he had almost 2 million subscribers before he started this.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap that up
Okay.
right there.
All right. The week-long stream.
Yeah, the week,
The week stream.
the week stream.
That's what he should call it. The
The
week,
week
stream.
stream.
Please,
The
dear
super
listeners,
week stream.
please go to our website, duddan.com. That's DUDNDAN.com. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Leave us a review on iTunes or Google Play, wherever you listen to us. Give us some stars, give us some love, and thank you very much for listening. I'm Dan May.
And I'm Dudley May, and this has been Dud and Dan.